We have a Wuyang VOD. We've done like one other Wuyang VOD in our lives so far. Wuyang is being played in OWCS Korea. A lot of teams are pairing him with Kiri, but the initial thoughts that the good teams have: Ball or Winston, Genji, Tracer, or Sojourn or Cass, and Kiri Wuyang. Some teams are playing Lucio, but I think the Kiri Wuyang works really well, especially if you're playing Ball, Tracer, Genji, because that means you don't need speed boost, because Ball, Tracer, Genji don't need speed. Wuyang and Kiri are super hard to dive. They work together well. They have great survivability, and they're all good to go. All right, chat, let's lock the fuck in. Remember, chat, I'm head coach, you're assistant coach. If you guys have questions or anything to say, or any input, any insight, let me know. Okay? We're already starting off terrible. Missed our wave. We haven't hit a single left click so far. There we go. All right. Take your time with your left clicks, bro, and take your time. Come on. Okay, I'd probably say very seldom should you use your wave, your E, just for damage. Like that little poke damage you did to that Orisa was absolute dog shit. I'd say probably get a better angle and maybe wave like this so you hit your hazard, your Ana, and the Orisa, or just use it for whenever the Tracer goes on you, because they are playing Tracer. You're gonna need that to defend yourself. It's really not worth it to use your wave. Like right now, when this Tracer goes on you, it would be great to have wave. So yeah, I think, you know, I actually think you're doing really good with left click so far. I think your left click aiming is solid. I'm glad that you're not spamming it. You're trying to hit it. You're focusing on being direct with it and taking your time. I think the only thing I'm noticing so far is that you're not getting a single value out of your wave, which is a really important ability. And that's fine to use there. You know, the fight's over. You just want to use it to get him killed, whatever. But going forward, I want you to use your wave, probably just less in general, and try to get like multiple values at it. Make sure you're hitting your tank. Make sure you're hitting their tank at the same time. Make sure you're keeping yourself alive. Especially, let's say you are playing Kiri, so you guys have a strong backline, so you don't really have to worry about like getting dove too much, because the Kiri can help you. Let's say you're playing like Wuyang Zen or Wuyang Lucio. If you use your wave aggressively and you get dove, you're basically a homeless guy on crack that only has a bottle of water. So make sure you're just careful with that. Now here, you know, while this is happening, I actually don't want you to tunnel vision so much on the Tracer. I want you to try to spam them all the way in, the same way that Pharahs do. Like, get ready for their cross, right? We know their whole team is gonna go this way, right? Because they're posturing to go this way. I want you to get into a position to be able to spam the fuck out of them going that way. Like, stand here so you get really good angles. You can stand here so you can get really good angles. I know you're trying to kill the Tracer, which is fine. The Tracer was inting, but now at this point, get ready to try and do as much damage as you can while they're walking in, whatever route they're taking. Because the same way that Pharah is good for that, Wuyang is good for that. All right, use your shift for absolutely no reason. Kind of wasting time going for this Pharah. Yeah, you see how their Ana just crossed for free because you're shifting for no reason, wasting time shooting a Pharah. This right here, balls to the face, balls to the face, balls to the face, balls to the face. Your Pharah spamming him, you spam with your Pharah, dunzo. That's not a bad E or wave, yeah. You know, I think you would have better timing with this ult. I think you have better time with this ult. So, a similar way that Lucios and Zens and all support ults, you don't want to start the fight too early with your ult, because then they have gold, they have sleep, they have their ults, right? I think if you waited like a tiny bit, this ult would have got a lot more value. I don't think this is worth it, the ult here. Your hazard's probably gonna live. He actually gets out of the ult and takes 0 damage. The ult doesn't really save him. Let's say you ult now, you probably win the game. Yeah, I guess you were scared that he was gonna die, but it's just it's something to think about. Like, look at this. Look at this ult. It's not a bad ult. It's not a bad ult. I'm not saying it's a bad ult. Not a bad ult. But when I'm VOD reviewing, I want you guys to understand better concepts and better habits, not just good ult, bad ult. In the future, you want to try to time your ult well to the point where the fight's already started. You don't want your fight to be kiteable, and you don't want your ult to be kiteable, and you don't want your ult to get no value. I do think it's okay to use your ult defensively though. So I guess if you did think that your hazard was gonna die here, it's not a bad ult. Your left clicks are great though. So I think your positioning is pretty L. If you notice tactic, you always have to use your shift to get to your teammates, and you have to use your shift to save your teammates, right? Most of the time, your shift has been used to be like, oh my god, I can't get there fast enough. I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming. I want you to try to prevent that. I'm gonna show some VOD of OWCS Korea, the way they position, the way they play. It's kind of similar to Sojourn positioning, where you can position pretty aggressively, and if you get focused, you can slide out. But your problem is you're positioning very passively, and then when things get into trouble, you're sliding in. If you keep doing that consistently, you're gonna get punished for that. I think you can spend less time like that, right? Like this, I hate this. I absolute abysmal. I think you can spend less time doing all this stuff like, woo, I'm Wuyang, I'm a surfer. Like it's kind of useless. I would rather you just chill, walk around, look for their rotations, and spam them on their rotations, right? And you'll be fine. You got that. That's all you. Also, stop jumping when you use your E. I know it looks really cool. A lot of Reinhardt players do this when they shatter. Jump shatter because it looks cool. It makes the animation longer. You keep jumping every time you use your E, and it's making your animation longer, and your wave is becoming delayed. Good round so far. I think you have the hardest part down of Wuyang. The left click. The consistent left click. Your left clicks are great. I think you might spend a little bit too much time going for these trick shot left clicks, which I think are fine. You can keep going for them. I don't really care. But instead of like chasing these crazy kills, like going for the Pharah flying and the Echo flying, and you spend more time spamming out this Ana and making her life living hell and never allowing her to play the spot she wants to play in, which Wuyang can do very well, which is why in the pro scene they're not playing Ana Wuyang, they're playing Kiri. I think that you would shut down their support more. You kind of find yourself going for like these super difficult shots, which sometimes you can go for, fuck it, but maybe try to look for like the simpler ones, like on Ana or the Cass or the Soldier or something that's happening. And other than that, I think your cooldown usage has been pretty dog shit. Wave gonna get a lot of value here if you position yourself well. So I'm not a big fan with the way you're using your wave in general. All of your waves have just, what would you say is meta DPS? Tracer Genji is the meta DPS right now, and Sojourn and Cass still, and Hanzo. All of your waves have been one-man waves. You don't, so can you tell me, why did you wave this Reaper instead of just shooting him? If your goal was to do damage to the Reaper, why not just left click him? Your left click does more damage. The wave's not too bad though. You do get the hazard and you're self-healed, so it's not terrible. But like, I want you to try to get juicier waves. Also, I don't think you need to shift here. This is a moment where you can just rotate. Just use your legs. And then when you need to actually rotate, when you get dove, you can shift and jump up here. Or you can shift and jump back. You're using your shift for your first... If you don't need to use your shift, stop using your shift. All right, at least you went up here. I like this. Use your shift for no reason, just because you want to be a surfer. Look at this. You're in a great spot here. You're good to go. You have LOS up everyone. You can shoot everyone. You can see everyone. And then for some reason, you just shift and start jumping around. Why? You're fine. Stay up here. Spam the junk. Spam the Moira. Pocket your hazard. If they dive up here, you shift and rotate. Or you shift and jump back. Like, you're just using it for no reason. I know you're the water guy. Stop surfing. And then you shift it in front of the Orisa. Now you're a homeless turkey. You're trying to look like a good Wuyang, but instead you just look stupid. Just play the game normally. If you're in a good position, stay in the good position. If you get forced out of your good position, there we go, good shift. You had to shift there because you were getting shot. You're getting killed. You had to rotate, so you rotated with your shift. Double wave is better. No one in OWCS is ever getting triple orb. Good ult. That's what I meant by timing with your ult. They're already committed. Orisa already used gold. Reaper already used fade. This ult is going to get so much value, I guarantee it. And chat, I think the first thing they're going to nerf about Wuyang is his splash damage. I think they're going to keep his direct damage. I think they're going to nerf his wave amp heals. When you wave and hold right click on somebody, the heals are insane. It's really, really high. So don't waste your wave just to go for 1 damage on their Reaper, or waste your wave to get 1 damage on their Orisa. Use your wave to keep someone alive. Wuyang's, he really doesn't have low healing. He doesn't, right? He doesn't. People say he does. He doesn't have low healing, but he has slow healing kind of, but he still has high healing. So if you are wasting your wave, you're not getting the heals that Wuyang should be getting. Make sure you're getting the wave on as many people as you can on their team and your team. Good, great wave, great wave. Now, think about Wuyang Wave, a similar way you think about Wuyang Dragon, or not Wuyang Dragon, Hanzo Dragon and Rhine Shatter. It comes from your body. So where you position is where the wave goes. It's not just where you're looking, but where it comes from your body, right? It stems from you. So even if you have to rotate to the left a little bit so that you can get your hazard and their Orisa, it's better than going from the right where you only get their Orisa. Or make sure you think about where your body is, so because the wave comes from you. If you're on the right but aiming at the Orisa, it might miss your hazard. But if you're aligned with both of them, then you hit both of them. And it might sound simple, like no shit apply. You should hit everybody with the wave, but clearly Tac 6 dumbass doesn't think about that. You need to stop jumping with this damn wave before I start getting mad. The reason that you're playing this far back is because you have no cooldowns, right? You have nothing. So you're afraid. You can't shift, you can't wave. But if you had your shift and your wave, you could play up here. You could wave right here. Hazard, Orisa, Life Weaver, all get hit. Double hit because double wave. Blade pops, you shift away. But because you spam your abilities constantly, you end up playing like a bitch all the time. It doesn't need to be reactively. There's no rules in Overwatch. It doesn't need to be reactively or proactively. It can be whatever you want, just the timing needs to be okay. Okay, tell me what that does right now. Tell me, what does that do? The fuck does that do? Let's see. We have amp heals on our hazard right now. Let's see what happens when we start the fight. And it's gone, and the fight started. Right here would be a good wave. You hit the Reaper, you hit your hazard. 3 people are looking at him around the wall. We are right here. We can heal our hazard, we can heal our Reaper. We pop our shit for absolutely no fucking reason. You need to use your cooldowns with a purpose. Why are we doing? Yep, shield. Yep. Even if that shield wasn't there, that's fucking useless. Because you would just tickle the Orisa a little bit. Now he knows you have no shift. He knows you have no wave. It's touching time. I want you to go into these games knowing why you're going to use your shift, okay? So we're going to use our shift to rotate when we're in trouble. We want to try. Sometimes you will need to use your shift to chase your teammates. If your teammates are out of position, you might need to use your shift to go forward and help them. But the majority of the time, your goal should be that you're already in a good position to heal your team. You're in a good position to wave your team, and you only have to use your shift to go backwards or rotate away from the initial dive that's on you. I think I started using waves so much because the amp heal is nearly as long as the wave cooldown. Yeah, but that doesn't make sense for you because you can, in the middle of the fight, you could spam wave. But you're starting fight without wave. So why does that matter? So you say it's almost as long as the cooldown, right? Done. It's over. Amp heal's over. We're still 7 seconds of the wave. So your reasoning is stupid. I'm sorry. Fight started. We have no cooldowns again. Well, you did nothing that fight. Shift forward because you're out of position. You miss your wave. Wave 2 full HP teammates. I like that. We use shift just because we took 1 damage. Good wave. Great wave. Look at that. Look at that wave. Look at the timing on that wave. Look at the timing on that wave. You hit both your teammates. Even if you hit 1 teammate. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the fight. The fight's actually going on. Look how long the overheals last, or the amp heals last. Look at that. That's the reason he doesn't die. That's the reason he doesn't die. And it's a lot, by the way. Because not only does it boost your healing, it also boosts your other support's healing. You want to use your shift to create separation between yourself and their team. Wuyang is not meant to be played up close. So if you're using your shift constantly, even if they're not playing dive, then they can just walk on you and you can't separate yourself. You have no lamp, you have no Suzu, you have no TP, you don't have sleep, you don't have nade. If you use your shift to just move around and surf like an idiot, this is what happens. Round of applause for Taxic. I think this is a pretty good VOD. I think a very obvious improvement that we need here. I think you're gonna clap. Yo, chat, can you guys fucking clap before I get mad? Hello? What the fuck is happening? Hello? I think you have a very obvious sight of improvement. Very obvious path to improvement. I'm coming. I'm a surfer.